Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Pablo and welcome back to GG Sports. I'm bringing you guys another episode of the Madden 19 Cincinnati Bengals rebuild, and it is now week 4. We are getting into our 4th game of the season in this episode versus the Miami Dolphins, and then in the following week we'll have our bye, and that will be a full-length live commentary so we can go through a lot of different details in that episode. But before we get started reviewing this roster, I want to remind you guys to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Definitely appreciate any support that you guys are able to give me on this series. But getting into this Dolphins team, this won't be an easy matchup because this Dolphins team has really revamped their offense. They were able to retain Jawan James. That was huge for their offensive line. They do have Muhammad Wilkerson and Nick Bosa, so they were able to land Nick Bosa in the NFL draft, and he is starting. They have Robert Quinn, so this Dolphins team already has some playmakers that we've seen on defense, and then they've added Preston Brown, former Bengal, at middle linebacker, and then also Kiko Alonso still playing linebacker for the Dolphins. And then at cornerback they did sign Jason Verrett. They still do have Xavier Howard along with Minka Fitzpatrick and Cordray Tankersley. And at safety, they do have Buddy Calhoun and Rashad Jones. So this team has made some very solid moves in the free agency. They added Jason Verrett, Muhammad Wilkerson, and then they also drafted Nick Bosa. So I think this Miami Dolphins team has really centered their identity around defense. So it's not going to be easy going on the road and pulling off a victory versus this team, even though they are 1-2 coming into this game. They won in week 1 versus the Jets, and then they actually lost their next 2 matchups. So this is a team coming in at the same record. We desperately need to get to 2-2, just like I'm sure they do. It's early in the season, but teams don't want to fall to 1-3 because at 1-3 there's a lot of room for panic to creep in and decisions start to get made and changes start to get made. So we don't want to see this team fall into 1-3 territory. So we'll have to go on the road and overcome this Miami Dolphins defense. I don't anticipate us having too many problems with the offense. They're not that talented, still highlighted by the likes of Kenny Stills, Kenyon Drake, Ryan Tannehill, so not too much to worry about as we do get the stop to begin the game, and that sends out the Red Rifle, who has not played well this season. So he really needs a good game under his belt to solidify his spot as the starting QB, because right now, like I said, we're not winning, and if we fall to 1-3, the spotlight will definitely be on Andy Dalton. But moving on now, the Bengals were able to put together a decent beginning drive until they were stopped on 3rd down, and we did have to settle for a Randy Bullock field goal, and Lord knows those are not guaranteed, but we do put up 3 points, and the Dolphins are trying to respond with points of their own as Mike Gesicki gets them inside the 25-yard line. But on the same drive, 3rd down and 3 from the 17-yard line, they're going right back to Gesicki. This time he scores 6 from 17 yards out and gives the Dolphins the lead by a score of 7-3. We get the ball back. We're trying to make something happen. It is John Ross wide open on the right sideline as Andy Dalton rolled out of the pocket. And it looks like Zac Taylor is going back to a similar play on 3rd down and 15 when they needed it. And that was a huge gain, getting the Bengals just inside the 30. And there's AJ Green abusing that spot in the coverage. Is going to walk into the end zone. No one was within 10 yards of him. And we retake the lead by a score of 10-7. So a great response, but we have to play some defense now. We allow Gesicki to really tear us up last drive, so we want to put him under wraps as Albert Wilson is going to do some damage this time and get the Dolphins to our 33-yard line. And a couple of plays later, we'll bring down Balaj for a loss, which brings up 3rd down and 13 from the 23. Ryan Tannehill with a clean pocket fires in a bullet to Kenny Stills over the middle. Shrugs off a couple of Bengals on his way, falling into the end zone, and the Dolphins take the lead with about 6 minutes to go before halftime. So we are trailing by 4 points, 14-10. Offense gets the ball back, having scored on their last drive. They're definitely trying to mimic that, and a shovel pass to Giovanni Bernard is going to get that drive started off right, and another great run and broken tackle by Giovanni Bernard is going to bring the Bengals inside the red zone. And on 2nd down and 5, a pass will be dropped by AJ Green. And we're going to AJ Green again, but that will be dropped as he rolls out of the back of the end zone. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that pass was dropped by Tyler Boyd in the end zone, but we do get 3 out of that drive. Randy Bullock knocks in an easy field goal, and on their next drive, we're going to get a stop on third down at the 32-yard line, so they were in field goal range and do convert that to 3 points. And with a minute left, we're trying to make something happen as Nick Bosa brings down Andy Dalton for a sack and pretty much puts a stop to any chance that we had to score before halftime. So we will have to take this 4-point deficit into half. So the Bengals haven't played their best half of football versus a losing team, but it's not too late to come back and get the victory. So we're down by 4, and Nick Bosa is going to bring down Andy Dalton, and that will bring his total to 1.5 on the day so far. So we would have to punt on that same drive. It will be Trey Lamar getting his first career interception, picking off Ryan Tannehill. Great read. We wanted to see him improve in pass coverage, and there he shows he actually can cover and read the eyes of a quarterback. So he just earned some more reps on passing downs, but it won't actually mean anything as Andy Dalton turns it over. 2 plays later, he's going to be picked off by Preston Brown, definitely playing with a chip on his shoulder. Did not get the kind of offer he wanted from the Bengals, and makes us pay as the Dolphins turn that interception into 6 points as Albert Wilson dives into the end zone for an easy touchdown. And Andy Dalton will fire a bullet into CJ Uzomah on the ensuing drive for a huge gain as the Bengals go into desperation mode as we're down by 11 points with 9 minutes to go in this game. But we do have to settle for a field goal, and we cut the deficit to 8 with just 9 minutes to play. But on first down and 10, Ryan Tannehill breaks a tackle, finds Gesicki on the sideline for a huge gain. But we do get a sack, a very clutch sack by Carl Lawson on that play. And on our next drive after their punt, Mark Walton gets us started, ripping off a huge chunk. And then Andy Dalton finds AJ Green open, but he will take a huge hit and he coughs up the football. So first down and 10, we're still driving in this game. It's going to be John Ross coming up clutch on this drive as we are approaching 4.5 minutes in regulation. And CJ Uzomah catches this pass from Andy Dalton, finding the hole in the coverage, getting us down to the 1-yard line. First down and goal. Looks like Gio got in, but they do not call it a touchdown. Third down and goal, Nick Bosa brings down Walton for a loss. And then on 4th down and goal from the 4, we allow a sack and turn it over on down. So with under 2 minutes to go, this stop becomes absolutely crucial. We get it. They punt. First down and 10 from the 14. AJ Green is wide open from the slot for a touchdown. Our deficit is now 2. Crucial 2-point conversion is upcoming. Andy Dalton fires one in, forces one into AJ Green, and it will be swatted down. So we fail to convert the 2-point conversion. We remain down by 2 points. And then terrible tackling right there allows Kenyon Drake to put the game on ice. So I know that was a very quick ending to that game. The Bengals had a chance. We had a chance from the 1-yard line to score, but failed to do so after 4 straight attempts. And then we actually did get the stop, but couldn't convert the 2-point conversion after we got the ball back and scored. The Bengals never really had a handle on this game like they should have. This isn't a team that's playing at a high level, but our offense isn't able to move the ball as easily as we wanted to without Joe Mixon. From the 1-yard line, you can't tell me that Joe Mixon doesn't get in the end zone if we run the ball to him instead of Giovanni Bernard. So we're obviously missing Joe Mixon. Andy Dalton didn't play too bad, but had an inopportune interception at a very bad time. And then the defense allowed 3 passing touchdowns by Mike Tannehill. You get the feeling that they could have gotten whatever they wanted on this defense, passing wise or through the air. On the ground, Kenyon Drake played decent, finished with just under 100 yards. But the Bengals have to do a better job of playing defense, pass defense versus the tight ends, and then we have to do a better job of moving the football. Our offense isn't playing terribly, but we're definitely missing Joe Mixon, and our offensive line is playing pretty suspect. So the next episode, I'll be discussing the decision if we want to bench Andy Dalton or not, and we'll be discussing some of the other stats and standings around the league. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like. If you're new, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next episode, which, like I said, will be the bye week episode. See you guys then. Later.